Hi, my name is RJ Kelly, and I'm a senior home loan specialist here with Ditech Financial. And today, we're going to be talking about credit. One of the most common apprehensions I'll hear from consumers early in the process is, stop. I don't want you to pull my credit. I already know what my credit scores are. Just tell me what your rate is. Maybe this is something you've even said yourself when shopping for a home loan. In my experience, most Americans generally do have a pretty good idea of what their credit scores are. But what they may not be aware of is the scores they get from free consumer websites like creditkarma.com or even the credit bureaus themselves are not necessarily going to be the same scores that a mortgage lender will have when they pull your credit. And the reason for that is there's two different scoring models that are commonly used in America. These are known as the Vantage score and the FICO score. Now, the free credit websites and the credit bureaus themselves are great tools to make sure that everything is reporting correctly on your credit and there's no suspicious activity. But the scores that they provide will be based off of the Vantage scoring model. Whereas when a mortgage lender will pull your credit for a mortgage inquiry, they are going to be using the FICO score. And these two scores are almost never the same. Now, there's a lot of similarities between the two models, specifically how good payment history and low credit usage will impact your scores positively. Both pull from the three main credit repositories, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. But there are a few key differences as well between the two models, specifically the severity in which previous delinquencies and open or satisfied collections will have an impact on your score. Now, recent changes by the Vantage scoring model have tried to bring their scores more in line with the FICO scoring model. FICO scores will range anywhere from 300 on the low end to 850 on the high end. And these two scores are almost never the same. In my experience as a home loan specialist with Ditech, I've actually seen them swing by as much as 60 to 100 points between the two scoring models. And this is extremely important because even just a few differences in your credit score's point structure can have a big impact on the interest rate and the cost that you pay. Now, having said all of that, one of the biggest concerns for consumers is inquiries. People understandably want to avoid unnecessary inquiries on their credit. What I find most consumers are not actually aware of is you can actually have multiple inquiries as long as they're within a 45-day window. Specifically for mortgages, they will only count as one inquiry on your FICO score. So you should definitely embrace the idea of letting multiple lenders review your credit for a quote. Now, you may be saying to yourself, why does that even matter? There's a lot of great websites online where I can get a pretty good read on what interest rates are and costs are without having my credit pulled. Granted, that is a valid point, but when you're ready to take that next step in the process and you want to get a quote in writing, you want to make sure that you back that quote up with a loan estimate. A loan estimate is a federally regulated document that will explain not only your interest rate, but also your APR and the closing cost. The loan estimate is really going to be one of the most key pieces of information for a consumer to make sure that they're getting an apples-to-apples quote when considering multiple lenders they may do business with. And a mortgage lender cannot provide you with a loan estimate without actually accessing your credit. So in closing, the free credit websites and the credit bureaus are great resources to make sure everything is exactly how it should be on your credit. But the scores they provide are not necessarily going to be the same scores that the mortgage lenders will see when they review your credit. Mortgage inquiries will not adversely impact your credit, so you should embrace the idea of having multiple mortgage lenders pull your credit, and you always want to make sure that you get a loan estimate in writing to back up that quote. You should always be working with a mortgage lender that you feel comfortable with and walks you through the process at your own pace. Here at Ditech, we take great pride in the fact that we will review your credit and provide you with a loan estimate at no cost or obligation. Hopefully, you found this information to be helpful. Thank you very much from Ditech and have a great day.